welcome to Too Fast, Too Forever. There's all kinds of family. We chose this one. This is episode 441, Fast and Furious, Lap 16. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe, too, and this episode is brought to you by RestoMods.com. Better than new. Check it out. They're currently running a giveaway for a Mustang and 50 grand and a Rolex all at the same time.
Cool.
So do that. RestoMods.com.
With us today to talk about Fast and Furious, we have big fan of big budget action movies, fan of the franchise, and she can expand on that as we go. Her site is The Mundane Adventures of a Fangirl. We also know her from the Jay Cluett, Mark Hoffmeyer World of Podcast, Deep Blue Sea, Con Air,
great
et
friends.
cetera. With us to talk about Fast and Furious, we have Jeanette Ward. Hello, Jeanette.
Hello, what an honor. So happy to be here. So looking forward to talking about this. I have so many thoughts and so many opinions. Oh, my goodness.
Well, thank you for being here. I realized, I think about this every time. I don't know if I've ever said it, but like, depending on when we record, I'm either like with us tonight or with us today, but like, there's no time. It's just, we're recording earlier because it's New Year's Eve. And so like, we're both like loosey-goosey from work. And so with us today, as opposed to with us tonight, but here you are, the sun is out, which is rare for winter. We usually record when it's dark out in winter.
Yeah,
but
pitch black.
Welcome.
And honestly, it's not sunny here. I've got complete cloud cover, but at least it's bright, which the last couple of days have been. Ugh. And I have snow flurries. Like, it's lovely.
I got snow outside, too.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, Jeanette, we want to start. I know you sort of through Mark and Jay, but we don't really know much about you. So for the most important question is, what is your history with the Fast and Furious franchise? You said you're a big fan of the franchise, action films and movies in general, but like you and Fast and Furious, fill us in.
Yeah. Well, I saw the first one in the theaters 2003, which would have been, let me do the math on that. I would have been out of college for 5-6 years at that point.
Okay.
And so I am a fan of, listen, the bigger the budget, the happier I am, provided, asterisk, I can see every penny on the screen, right? I don't like when your budget all goes to a star because I'm not seeing that. I want to see all of your budget in your stunts, your action, your set pieces, your effects. Please spend the money there. If you have to spend 98% of your budget on a name, that does me no good as a visual viewer, in my opinion.
Not to jump ahead, though, how do you feel about the later Fast and Furious movies? Where there's still money being spent on stunts and action and stuff like that, but also,
However, yes, we can get there. The first one, when I went to see it, coming out of, like, I'm an 80s kid, I was born in 76, and so, like, big action pieces are what I grew up loving, and it was tough being a female action movie fan in the 80s, as I don't have to tell you.
Nope.
Those movies are not geared towards female fans. There's nothing there for us. I always say they require the best ones are the ones that have some martial arts, and I like an 80s action movie that has some martial arts. So like, your Dolph Lundgren kind of stuff and your all that kind of genre.
Sure.
Showdown in Little Tokyo, I think, is the best example of what I love about those movies. And you get, a bar fight, a this, or that, but they always include the PTS, as I say, the pointless tit scene, which even Die Hard, which is the perfect movie, full stop, period.
Christmas movie. Perfect Christmas movie.
Perfect Christmas movie, perfect movie, best action movie ever created. Still has a PTS because it was made in the 80s.
Yep.
And that's a movie in which nothing is wasted. Every little thing comes back around. Every discussion matters later. Every set piece matters later. Everything in the background matters later, with the exception of the PTS, which has nothing to do with anything because it's the 80s. Hookers and blow, baby. That's all the 80s was about. Yeah, that was tough. And I think rolling into this, you started to see the shift where action movies were like, oh, we could try to be more. And this one, the first one, directed by Rob Cohen, who ironically didn't really do any of the others in the sequence.
Right.
He had, at that point, had done a couple of other. And I'm a person who will pay attention to the director if I'm looking to see a movie that I'm not familiar with.
Sure.
Because I feel like movies are director's medium, and you can go through that thing of like, the stage is the actor's medium, the TV is the writer's medium, and films tend to be the director's medium, the editors and directors. But in this case, I had known Rob Cohen, forgive me, I should have looked up his other stuff. It was something else he had done where I was like, oh, I enjoyed that.
Dragon, the Bruce Lee story.
That might have been it. But I was like, I'm not a car person. I'm not into cars. I don't care about cars. Cars mean nothing to me. But I do like a big action movie. I went to see this and was like, oh, hey, this is really fun. I like this street racing with the twist of the guy's the cop, and look at how fun these, and the enigma that is and continues to be Vin Diesel. I was like, wow, this guy is. I'm enjoying all of this. Who at the time appeared to be a fairly light-skinned biracial dude, and as a light-skinned biracial woman, I was like, this seems like something I can relate to on at least a surface level. And so I was like, yeah, I'm into this. Paul Walker's great. His low-key charisma, right? No one else inherits that low-key charisma area like Paul Walker. He's incredibly watchable, but for reasons that maybe can't be explained. So I was all in. The first one, I was like, great, love it. Second one, went to see it. I was like, wait, they cast, what's his name?
Tyrese?
No, who played the Cuban villain.
Oh,
Cole
Hauser. Yeah, played
Cole
by Cole
Hauser.
Hauser. Yeah.
Who, again, from Pitch Black, love Cole Hauser, but that man is as Boston Irish as Boston Irish gets.
I made this exact joke yesterday. Cole Hauser being cast as a Latino guy is really funny.
Insane!
Yeah.
But that movie is just all out. You know what? And John Singleton is the director, right? Great kind of fun action, but also with some depth to it. Now, I'm not sure that movie has a lot of depth. There's some great stunts, right? So I was like, yeah, this franchise is expanding. Now, Tokyo Drift didn't make a lot of sense to me, and I was like, I cannot with this guy's accent. I can't. I'm sorry.
Sean Boswell.
Oh, and God love him. And I love the movie he did out in the desert with Paul Bettany and Kevin Durant. That's right. I'm going to list Kevin Durant as one of the stars of that movie.
We love Kevin Durant.
Is
that Legend? Legion, yes. Mm-hmm.
Love that movie. Great. And he's great in that, but man, that accent. And you think, is he ever going to grow out of that?
Nope.
Or maybe get a dialect coach?
Still uses it on NCIS Vegas or whatever it was
called. And more power to him, right?
Yep.
Clearly it's real. So, hey.
It's working.
I'm not going to argue. And that movie's fine. You love the invention of, or the addition of Bow Wow and et cetera. And Han. Fan favorite Han. Everyone loves Han. And so, super happy to talk about this one, which feels like the first true sequel to the original. And then, yes, I have thoughts on all of the others and how much and where the money goes, and let's bring in every actor. But what I will say is, like, once Justin Lin gets his fingers in these, I think they really develop into what they can be. And the reason I have kept loving these over time, regardless of how silly they get, and man, do they get silly, but in the best possible way. This is a franchise where other action movies have kind of either isolated or built on a singular star, either to their detriment or to their benefit. These movies really focus on the ensemble. This has a huge cast. And not only that, it's the only action franchise I can think of that truly embraces the global appeal. They are constantly bringing in stars who are not exclusively American stars. And as someone who really enjoys pop culture from all over the world, it's so fun to have at least one franchise that is like, yeah, this guy's a huge star in this country. This guy's a huge star in that country. This person's a huge star. She's big in there. Let's bring them all and put them in one franchise, and we're just going to clean up at the global. They may not always knock out here at the American box office, but man, they're always going to continue to do well globally because they have smart people in the marketing team who are like, let's bring in this person. And I appreciate that, and I enjoy that. And the bigger and louder and sillier they get, I'm here for it.
Yeah, that's a thing that we're also seeing currently with, like, there's a third Avatar movie in theaters that nobody's talking about, and then James Cameron's out here talking about how if it flops, he's going to have a press conference to tell the rest of the franchise, and it's like, well, it's already made $800 million worldwide. Like, it's still doing fine.
Yeah.
But
please acknowledge that the rest of the world exists.
But the Fast and Furious is like, instead of just doing things that are like visually spectacular, I mean, they are visually spectacular. It's just like, let's get somebody from all these different countries, like one person, and then, you know, yes, exactly.
Yeah. So that's why I like this one in particular because it is the most true sequel to the. Also, by the way, in doing research for this, I don't know what kind of if you want to stay organized on this at all, but I learned in doing my research, my prep, I own this on DVD and Blu-ray. Of course, in the nice metal sets, I've got the 4, 5, 6, 7.
Beautiful.
Totally didn't realize Los Bandoleros was a thing.
It's really
welcome.
Good. It's really good.
You've never seen it?
Yes. No, I watched it earlier today when I was like, I gotta watch it.
Good.
What a delight.
That's the only one directed by Vin, right?
Yeah, which you can feel it.
You could definitely feel it, but it puts a lot of interesting things into perspective. Like, we always want Vin. Didn't Vin tease that he's going to do like another one, Joey? Los Bandoleros too.
Dos
He's been saying
Bandoleros,
Dos
yeah.
Bandoleros. Yeah. He's been,
Oh, that's
I don't,
very clever.
Who knows? He's
we
said a
call
lot of
it,
things.
one of our fans called it Dos Bandoleros. He called it Los Bandoleros.
Very
too.
clever. I appreciate that. It filled in a lot of the holes because admittedly this Fast and Furious picks up and we're in the middle of an action sequence where they are chasing down and stealing gas and you're like, why in the DR? Why are they back together? Why are they stealing gas and how is Han alive? And I feel like that 18-minute short kind of explains all of that. In a really fun way with really beautiful shots of the DR.
I think it's probably one of the greatest depictions of Dom and Letty's relationship too, right? It's so genuinely them just together having fun.
Yes. Where in some of the others their chemistry feels flat at best, forced at worst.
Mm-hmm.
This was them, the bit of them kayaking and they fall out of it's so cute and it's so sweet. And I was like, oh, this is the Dom and Letty I want.
Seems like that's actually probably their real life relationship too, from the
Just,
Instagram's post that we see. Yeah.
Getting stoned on the beach.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm here for it. So yeah, that was a revelation for me to be able to watch that and enjoy it. And I was like, oh, this totally sets up the whole, if not the whole plot, right? Because admittedly, plot is them attempting to bring down Arturo Braga, but at least why they're in the DR to start with. Yeah.
There is a thing where, in this movie, I made a note this time, and there was more questions I want to ask you, just generally speaking, but in terms of, that specific thing, at one point early on, Brian's partner in this movie, Trin, says, why now? And her boss, gives an answer that doesn't answer why now, but the only why now in this movie, why they're there, it's the Braga thing, but why deal with Braga now? It's because Letty died. But this movie is less concerned with well, why are we doing this now? Why go after him now? It's just well, no, we just need a plot for a movie, kind of, right? But the why now is specifically because Letty died, right? It's well, we're in the DR because we need to bring down Braga, but we're also in the DR because there was a 20-minute short that that's where we're hanging out. So it's all good.
Yeah, and Liza Lapira, who plays his partner, who is currently on The Equalizer, which if you enjoy watching Queen Latifah kick ass weekly, which I do, then, that's a great show for you. But she has a lot of heavy exposition lifting to do in this, and I appreciate the effort she puts into it.
She does. She is really trying here, and thankless role, but I also, to my own discredit, I had never, this is the 16th time we've talked about this, I do not have her name in the notes a single time until today, where I wrote down her name, Trin. So that's how I guess unimportant the movie makes her, although other than just plot pushing forward, but it's always Brian's partner, the woman that Brian works with, the other person in the FBI, I don't know. Anyway.
And I will admit that I did not know her character name until I looked it up. So that's not, she's doing a lot of background work, but the character is not given any.
Well, also, this is the movie where Gal Gadot's character is not named.
You know what? That didn't even occur to me, but you're right.
Doesn't have a name.
Yes.
I wrote down in my notes the introduction of Giselle.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, okay.
It might be on screen at one point, but her name is never actually said aloud in this movie. And I don't know that it might be said once, possibly in 5. It's for a franchise like you were saying before about doing women better, and the franchise does women better. The franchise doesn't always exactly do
correct
better.
Well, and there's always the dancing scenes in booty shorts, right? Mm-hmm. That's Booties. A key point to this franchise. And I as much as I don't need dancing in booty shorts, I also will accept it necessary for these movies as much as Coronas are necessary. So that's fine.
We do always argue the reciprocal, though, that there's a lot of muscles and shirtlessness too. You know what I mean? So I know that it's definitely leaning
a lot of eye candy,
a lot of booty shorts too. But you do get nobody wears sleeves and everybody's sweaty all the time. So
I think I appreciate that. As coming from where I've come from as an action fan, I feel like this movie is this franchise is. We got eye candy for everybody.
Everything, everything, every taste, everybody. Yes.
Everybody. There's a little bit of everything. You don't like for me, it's you don't like a dude who looks like this? Well, we got a dude who looks like this.
Yep.
You don't like a dude who looks like that? We got this dude. I'm yeah, give me all the dudes. I like it.
Huge, small, whatever you want.
All the dudes.
As long as you like bald. If you don't like bald, we're in.
We got a
short
few
supply
less.
Here. Yes.
Few
Well,
less.
it's slightly fewer options. Yeah, that's fine.
So now, Jeanette, before we ask a couple questions that are specific about the franchise in ways that like don't make any sense, I do want to get your rankings. Fast and Furious franchise, either ranked from favorite to least favorite, or least favorite to favorite, like top down, bottom up, or best to worst, however you want to frame them. What are your rankings of this franchise?
This is I'm notoriously bad at rankings, and I've been lectured about my maths before by Jake Cluett. But it's tough. I'm gonna have to say the Brazil one. And it's interesting, right? And I feel like you guys probably understand this. You get to a point where you have your own nicknames for these.
Sure.
The Brazil one is, of course, Fast Five. It's the introduction of the.
That's top down.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite.
Yeah,
So
okay.
top down. So starting with Fast Five, I love it. The set pieces are incredible. The action is incredible. You start to really pull together the full team, the core team. Everyone gets enough of a little bit of business to really get into it. The introduction of The Rock to this series,
Sure.
I have mixed feelings on, right?
Okay.
It works in this one. The Rock, to his credit, sucks all the air out of a room. That man is 100% charisma all the time,
Yes.
has no slower speed. Adding him to Fast Five works because he's the antithesis of Dom. He's the other side. He's the, not villain, but anti-hero. He's the other antagonist, right? And that works in that one. When you go further, he starts to pull from the group. The rest of the group, and admittedly, the egos in this franchise are out of control. Out of control. But the others at least can balance out their egos and work together. When you add The Rock, he almost tips the scales to the point where now suddenly everybody is there from this house and they can't, because he's pulling so much air, so much focus. No one else can really, what's left is scraps, and they have to kind of fight between themselves for it. So that's where you start to see the chemistry fall off once you get The Rock in as a full character. So some of the others aren't as strong with him there. They suffer for the same reason bringing him in as a benefit in a weird way. It doesn't make a ton of sense, but that's how I feel about it. So, yeah, sorry. I'm going to get sidetracked. Fast Five, number one. And then we have this gray space of, like, I like a lot of them next. So how does the ranking go? Boy, I enjoyed Fast X. I really did, more than a lot of people did.
Wow.
How many times have you seen it?
And that's fair. Just the once.
If that is your number two, you are in the 108 rankings we have, you are officially the person who was ranked at the highest in your rankings. The highest previous was 3. So having somebody at 2, you're breaking new ground.
I'm only saying this because we've had a lot of 9 dropping. Like, we had a high recency bias for 9 when it came out. And since it seems like us and the rest of the people ranking it have slowly slotted it lower and lower as we distance ourselves from it.
That's fair, I think. And that's why my number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all going to be like, they're all kind of the same.
Yeah, same. Understood.
But what I love is Momoa, Momoa understanding the assignment, which often is the key to success. Momoa he's not there to pull focus, he's there to add. And he's there to add to the crazy in a big, big, big way. I love it. I think he does a great job.
Excellent
also, Alan
job.
Richson. Alan Richson has been very good for a very long time and is just now starting to get what he maybe should have gotten before, but maybe he wasn't ready for before. And so adding him in, great. Also, the addition of Cena as part of the family. Now, let me get this right in that, because sometimes, I'm not going to lie to you, also I get confused as to in which movie someone dies, someone was a bad guy, someone becomes a good guy, someone's part of the family, right? Am I right? Do I have the right one? Cena is full-on part of the family in 10, was the antagonist in 9, right?
By the end of 9, he is on the side of the family, but for all of 10, he is part of the family. He's cool Uncle Jake, and he's got the kayak with Baby B. Yes,
correct.
That is fully
Excellent.
10.
Correct use of Cena, right? Cena in 9 is not where I want Cena. Cena is also there to have fun. That's where I want Cena. So the addition of Momoa, the best use of Cena, the addition of Richardson, Brie Larson doing her best. I like a lot of 10, and I haven't revisited it, and maybe that's for the best. So I'm gonna.
we've revisited it quite a few times, and I still really like it as well. So I'm not trying to disparage you or your rankings.
It's
Just
fair.
like
You could.
just like think about like. I was thinking,
Think
like,
about what you're
have you
saying
seen it a
very
bunch?
carefully.
No. I was saying, like, I needed context for your number 2 because I was like, that seems a little high for me, and I was like, how many times? Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. And if I rewatch it, it might change. Honestly, this ranking might change in an hour.
Yes.
True.
This is
feel
a
that
fluid.
with you.
I only give Joey
breathing
one every.
franchise.
I only give Joey one every 5 because if you asked me between now and tonight, I would change it.
Basically once every 4 years, like every 5 laps, like every 4 years, he'll give me like one real ranking.
Yeah. I love when the family gets established as a family, when they lean into that, where it's family and Coronas every time, and hitting that real hard. And I enjoy when they bring in folks as little cameos and things like that. So, yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. And then you know what? I'm gonna go back to the first one is 3 because you can't beat it. It's great. And then I'm going to go, see, I had this written down, and now I'm trying to change it as I do it. That's the problem,
Totally
right?
fine. You
That's
have to
okay.
it out.
Yeah.
It can be whatever you want it to be.
Well, I'm going to go number 6 as number 4.
Okay.
I think that's a sound bet because you bring The Rock over and you introduce, first Luke Evans is Owen Shaw, great. But then the addition of Statham at the end, which if you're a B, at the end, he shows up and you go, Statham! So yeah, because having seen every Transporter movie in the theater, oh boy, and then going back and saying Transporter 1 is great. The others are fine. Transporter 1 is great, and so to bring him into this, I was like, yeah, this is exactly what they need. So then I will go ahead and say, here's where we're going to get crazy. I am going to put this one as 5, Fast and Furious. This one being that's why I'm here to talk about.
Got it.
Before we get too far off.
Sure.
So Fast and Furious. Or Fast 4, however you want to put it. I'm going to put that as number 5.
Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious, boy, that's good. Yep. That's number 5. And then I'm going to go ahead and do, I'll do number 7 as number 6, and number 8 as number 7.
Okay.
And then I'm going to say number 9 as number 8.
Okay.
I love doing this. It's hilarious. And then I'm going to say, does Hobbs and Shaw count this, or are we not
If you
counting
want it
Hobbs?
to count, we do not
We've
force
had
one way or
both
the other.
ways. We don't
Hobbs and
pressure
Shaw
anybody.
is 9, although honestly I could rank that a little bit higher, but I'm going to put it at 9 for now, and then I'm going to put,
You've got 2 and 3 left.
yeah, can I put them joint 11?
Sure.
Yeah. I think I probably like Too Fast, Too Furious more, so I'll put that in 10, and
Okay.
then I'll put Tokyo Drift as 11, just because, it doesn't connect to the others as much as it could. Now, they retrocon that later on, and it does tie in a little bit better, and, so that's all well and good. But yeah, the Brazil one, most of the others, Tokyo Drift. That's the ranking.
Tokyo Drift is very contentious in our like sphere because like people like really love it or don't like it.
Yeah.
It's like it's either like top 3 or bottom 3.
I mean, it's fine. None of these are terrible. It's fine.
Love it. Beautiful. Okay. So now some questions about the movies that I don't know that you would have expected to be asked here, because these are questions like we've watched the movies enough that like we know the answers to, even though we don't know characters' names, like we didn't know Trin's name till now. That's fine. We're not asking that question, but we have questions here that don't really make any sense, that don't really have firm answers. There's any answer is possible because we're never going to get real answers for this. So if you think back to the original movie, to The Fast and the Furious, your third favorite movie in the franchise, there is the scene after the barbecue wherein Brian and Mia are washing dishes, and Vince drunkenly comes in and starts flirting with Mia and antagonizing Brian. And Mia says to Brian, "Hey Vince, what's the name of that restaurant you want to take me to? It's got the red candles, the wood tables, the picadillo, the food all over the place." He goes, "Cha cha cha," and she says, "Yeah, Brian, you could take me there." And he gets all pissy and he walks out, right?
Yes. What an exceptional interchange. That whole the writing on that, top notch.
Yes.
Also, a shout out to the guy who plays Vince. What's his name?
Oh, Matt Scholes?
Yes, Matt Scholes. The only actor in Blade 1 and Blade 2, and big ups to him for that.
Ooh, very cool. That's we have not done the Blade movies yet. Maybe if the Mahershala one ever comes out, we will have reason to tap the Blade well.
If it
but
ever
seems
comes
like
Are
out,
they
I-
even making it? Are they?
no, I don't.
They,
think so.
I don't
well,
think so either.
I think Mia Goth, like in the last like 6 months is like I don't know. I have not heard a single thing about it.
You
so.
can just rewatch Blade 2 and be perfectly happy. Yeah, Matt Schulte plays one of the whimpering, simpering small henchmen in Blade 1.
Love
Who
it.
gets his arm cut off and then had got into bodybuilding off between the two movies. And in Blade 2 is one of the hench people hanging around with Ron Perlman.
Who would not want to hang out with Ron Perlman is my question.
Everyone wants to hang out with Ron Perlman.
So in that scene, Mia describes a restaurant as having food all over the place. We don't know what that means.
Food all over
Jen,
the
if we
place.
say to you, hey, this was so much fun. If you're ever in the East Coast, come over. We got this restaurant. It's got this, you're going to love it. It's got these wood tables, these red candles, it's picadillo. It's got food all over the place. What does that conjure up in your mind? What do you imagine when we describe a restaurant as having food all over the place?
My first question would be, what do you mean all over the place? And
Okay.
then my second question would be like, you mean like a lot of different styles of food? Like
Okay.
that's how I would interpret that. Like it's a fusion restaurant that does Asian, South Asian, Central Asian, European, Mexican, various Latin Americans, and classic American fare. It's a fusion restaurant of all of those. When it has
Cool.
food all over the place, that's what I'm thinking.
But nailed it. Yeah, makes sense.
We don't know. We will never know. But just, we don't know if that's a written line, if that was an improv line, if it was a goof. That's the only question we want to ask Jordana Brewster.
Food
What
all
does
over
that
the
line
place.
mean? And she's
Yeah.
like, we don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
In the seventh movie, somewhere in the middle of your favorites, there is a
Yes.
scene in which they're all around a table talking about the plan, and Roman is telling everybody how much he has done, how he has saved the family time and time again, how he has done all this different stuff. He has shot that he used to think back about Fast and Furious 6. He says, I shot that shit out the sky of a bow. And Brian says to him, Roman, the only thing I've ever seen you take down is No Knees Denise at prom. And everyone laughs, and Roman gets defensive, and he says, really, Brian, you can do that here. If we describe a person as having no knees Denise, no knees Joe, no knees Jeanette, what does that mean to you?
Because he says at prom. I'm prepared for this question. Because he says at prom, we're going to assume it's a high school nickname. And so from that, I'm going very harmless, very PG, that poor old Denise probably has bad knees, and they showed up in gym class one day, and then it just stuck. She just has weird knees. Maybe
she has
maybe
like
they're
knee
knobby.
problems.
Maybe
she
they're
could
bony.
tore an MCL or something.
Maybe
Who
she's got a
knows?
scar. You know how high school kids are. They're horrible.
Interesting.
Horrible, especially if, if she's hanging high school girls. A group of high school girls, a group of them, is the most evil thing on the face of the planet. The
Terrifying.
most evil thing on the face of the planet. And poor Denise probably has some bad-looking knees. Not her fault, but my guess is a group of high school girls looked at her and were like, ooh, no knees, Denise. And there you go. It's very PG, but I'm thinking that's what it was.
Okay. That's
I actually
new.
really like this one.
Yeah.
It's new. I never considered she just was, she tore her MCL playing soccer that summer, and now
so
she's
maybe
no knees
Roman
Denise.
is not upset that he's getting made fun of, but he's upset that Brian is still making fun of. Like Brian is being a
Oh,
mean
he's
girl.
defending
All he
Denise.
could take was
He's
Denise
like, really,
to the
Brian,
prom.
you're gonna harp on Denise again now? Like,
Yes.
hasn't she had enough?
Yes.
Wow.
That
Okay.
poor girl.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe she ran cross country and so she was real skinny and the knees are real, it's not her fault.
Exactly.
She's
It's not her
probably a
fault.
top tier athlete. Went on to like a D1 track scholarship for college. Graduated with a PhD, from, I don't know,
She has
one of the
many
big Ivy League
publications.
schools. Yes.
She has many publications now.
Very respected. You know what I would love in the next one? Bring her into the family. Let's go.
Oh, we want there was
We've
a time
been clamoring
where,
for this one.
where like Cardi B was in the franchise but not named. We're like, what if she is No Knees Denise and then she's just Lisa? She's Oh, well, now that you've seen Los Bandoleros, you know her connection. Like the character that's in like one shot of this movie, but like has a little bit more time on screen in Los Bandoleros. That is Cardi B's sister. So like you actually, now that you've seen Los Bandoleros, you're filling out the world a little bit more.
A little bit
Cara.
more.
Mm-hmm.
Not a ton. A little bit.
Other question for now that does not have a firm answer. Actually, this is a little bit. This may be easier. This might be more difficult. But later in that same movie, in Furious 7, Roman once again is told to distract a room full of people so that Brian and Dom can steal the part from the car, and he sings "Happy Birthday" in a way that only Roman Pierce can. So, Jeanette, if we say to you, we need to sneak into this other room to steal a thing from a car. Joe is going to lift up the car while I get in there and just steal whatever it is in the car. We need you to distract the room like only Jeanette Ward can. What song are you singing that is either so good people can't take their eyes and ears off you, or it's so bad they can't look away? What song, a cappella style, are you singing?
Here's the thing. I'm going to start one that inevitably everyone has to join in with. So probably Sweet Caroline, right?
Okay.
Good move.
Sweet Caroline, you start that. Everyone has to join in. Everyone's on board. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows it. It's a great distraction. There's your answer.
So we need to make sure that if Jeanette is on this heist, we need to do this heist in Boston.
Because then, specifically.
Like, okay,
but remember, there's a lot of there's a couple of Premier League teams that use it. So it works in England. It works. It's big in Australia. It works. Listen, Sweet Caroline, across the board.
One.
Perfect. And then one more question for now to kick things off. It's an easy question. Do you have, or maybe not, I don't know. Do you have a favorite character in the franchise? Doesn't have to be in this movie. Just any movie, any character in the franchise.
Mia.
Cool.
Right? Because Mia is underused.
Yep.
Always.
Always. Jordana Brewster has had to lobby for her to get her more stuff to do. And so I love the scenes, and the one, oh boy, I'm going to forget which one it was. The one where Han comes back. F9?
9, yep. Justice for Han.
Yeah. Mia gets whole action set pieces, which admittedly she gets to do once Paul Walker passes, because, then they can leave. Brian's at home with the kids.
Yes.
And there's I'm sure you've heard every opinion on whether or not it's a good idea for the franchise to leave Brian alive or to kill Brian off. I love that they leave him alive, because in the back of our minds we can keep in, he's fine. He's home with the kids. That's fine. That's what we want. It makes me happy. I like it. I will say that I do feel like some of the movies suffer from, again, Paul Walker's enigmatic, charismatic lack of charisma delivery. It's great, and he is a good balance for Vin Diesel, which sometimes I don't know if a lot of the others. Tyrese sort of can be, but Paul Walker was a good balance for. In any case,
Do you want Paul Walker to come back in 11? And
no.
how do you see it if he did?
One of his brothers.
Back?
They keep talking about one of his brothers will be a stand-in or do this or do that. I don't want that. I don't want AI Paul Walker. I don't want any of that. Please don't. If you want to introduce one of his brothers and be like, well, this is Brian's brother, great, fine.
That's a good move.
Dan,
that's a really nice move.
Dan O'Connor. Great, I'm fine with that if you want to do that. For a minute when they introduced Little Eastwood, I thought he looked similar enough you could pull that off there.
Yep.
And forgive me, it's not the all young white dudes look the same, but those guys look similar.
No, it's not you. Trust me.
You could have been like, I would buy it if they were like, here's Little Eastwood, he's actually an O'Connor. Great, I'm on board for that.
Joe and I also have a podcast about Zac Efron. We really are upset that they did not cast Zac Efron in the Scott Eastwood role, because we think Zac Efron would have been just as fine as Little Nobody there, and we would have been able to cover this movie for another podcast entirely.
He's a little more watchable than Little Eastwood. Little Eastwood
a little less punchable, a little bit more. Maybe they want punchable. I don't know. Who knows? Because The Rock does pick him up by sideways and do that thing. So.
But yeah, I will say Mia. But I love Han. Of course, I love Han. Everyone loves Han because Han's great. I like Han when paired with Tyrese. I think they work well together. Statham again. Once Statham gets to be cut loose, it's interesting when they introduce a character and the character is in a tight box, and then the next movie they get to loosen up. So that character is always going to be. But like I said, Cena is amazing when they let him loosen up and just be John Cena. Like the movie where they introduce him and he's like, "That's not Cena. We know that. I can see that version of Cena, right?" But when they bring him back, and I'm like, yeah, this one I can't see. This is perfect. This is what I wanted.
Yep.
So yeah, that kind of all the bit players who keep coming back. Leo and Santo are good in small doses. I enjoyed them. I'm not gonna lie to you. I had forgotten. Well, we can come back to that. But yeah, Mia, I think, is one of the core members, one of the unsung heroes. She's always there for family. She will do whatever's necessary at any time. She's more capable than they give her credit for. And I just really so if I have to pick a favorite, I'm going with Mia.
Love it. We are going to, at the end of the episode, we're going to do a character quiz. Mia's not my favorite. I do love Mia, but I am Mia. That is, I am Den Mother. That is so, in terms of the franchise, my favorite is Brian. Mia is up there, but I am a Mia. So that's an answer that really resonates with me.
I love that. Okay. It's Sex and the City quiz, but more fun.
Yes. So here we go. Fast and Furious number 4. This is your 5th favorite movie, so pretty high up there. What do you love about this movie? What do you hate about this movie? Anything you want to talk about? I've got some notes. Joe's got some notes, but
I got some notes.
Take it away. Where do you want to begin? What do you love about Fast and Furious number 4?
What I love about it, like I said, is that it feels like the first true sequel to the original. The fact that they're back being like street race thugs. We're out here stealing this stuff because that's what we do. The beginning with a huge action piece that bit with the gas truck is great. You don't understand why they're stealing the gas unless you watch Los Bandoleros, so I will put in this plug for that. If you haven't watched it, watch it. It's great. But yeah, Han being back, not enough Han, but at least he's back for a bit. Be heavy-handed. Well, I've heard they're doing some interesting things in Tokyo. Okay, great. I at least understand our timeline and what's happening. I like seeing Brian and Dom on flip sides again, but then realizing they're on the same team, and so having that come back together. I think it suffers from a lack of... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No. I do have a question about that, because I don't know if we've talked about this before, but this is my big takeaway this time. In 2009, who are people rooting for? Because in the first movie... Brian is the hero that we're following, but Dom's the cool criminal, and then Brian, betrays him, right? But then Dom leaves the franchise. Like Vin Diesel steps away.
Yes.
We follow Brian, we follow Paul Walker again, and then they both are gone from 3. Like when
Except
this
for that end
starts,
cut,
and there is that scene where Dom is holding the guy out the window, and Brian's like, put him down. Like, who are people rooting for? Like, I'm having a hard time. Like, I don't know the answer, like what the sentiment was then, but like, I'm having a hard time thinking, like, if I have never seen any of these movies, am I rooting for the cop who I was kind of rooting for and like who kind of didn't leave the franchise, or am I rooting for the guy who, like, the cool bad guy who but stepped away and like abandoned me? Like, I don't know.
This is an excellent point. Which is only compounded by the fact that in the cold open, for lack of a better description, in the DR in this, Dom leaves Letty. He leaves her cash and the necklace. Gotta love that necklace. And he leaves. He leaves her in the middle of the night because he is worried the cops are getting too close to him and he wants to protect her, which always a sketchy reason to leave somebody. But we know, based on, further movies, that they got married in there at some point, right?
Yeah.
So they're married and he leaves her because the cops are closing in. And then our next bit is we find out that she's been killed off screen. First of all, don't kill somebody off screen. But also in this movie, I get it. You have to, and thank God we get her back, because Michelle Rodriguez is great. She's Letty, also very high on my list of favorite characters. So at that point, you're kind of like, well, I don't know how I feel about Dom. And then when you see Brian back with the FBI, you're like, well, I don't know how I feel about Brian. So you're kind of rooting for the two of them to get together and work together.
I think that's the right answer.
Rooting for a concept rather than a person,
because I do think that the way that the movie's pitching it to you, and because you have Brian, Paul Walker, and two of them, that maybe inherently as it opens, you're kind of rooting for Brian, but then when Dom shows up, you're like, oh, no. What we really wanted is them together.
Them together.
Yeah, not one or the other, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for the family to solidify. And admittedly, watching it again with the future knowledge, all I want is the two of them together. I want that family out there fighting whatever it is they're fighting together. In this case, drug lords. So yeah, I'm fighting for them together. I'm not rooting for either one of them in particular. They both seem to be fairly even in terms of, well, these characters are fine.
So I was watching this time, and you brought up the scene that I wanted to talk about. That, like, I often make fun of Vin Diesel in 5 when he does "I remember everything about my father" and mumbles all of his lines.
That's a
through
choice.
That monologue. And I was watching it this time, Joey, and this is perfect. So Vin is gone from 2 and just, has the quick cameo at the end of 3.
But he's gone from 3. Like, he's not really
He's gone from 3.
Not really there.
I think that in this time frame, in real life time, that he has been sitting with the Dom character, and I think this is the first time that we see Vin figure out what he thinks Dom is in this movie.
Interesting.
And I think that you see it because he starts doing the same kind of like everybody making fun of him. Like, that's not really prevalent in 1 as much as it is later on. And it starts here, like, because he's like, I'm gonna kill this Braga, like when he like is picking him up, and the line delivery hit for me so similarly that I was like, oh, what I think actually happened was over this time, Vin is like, I played Dom Toretto. He has that like one quick line at the end of 3, but he was thinking about it in his head, and he's like, what is Dom Toretto? And as he's getting back into character, he has a completely different vision for Dom than what Dom was to start. And we're now seeing like what he thinks Dom is, and he continues that from 4 out.
Well, I will say that I made a note this time on a similar thing. Is the most Dom, because we did like, Jeanette, like years ago, we did like a Vin Diesel app. We watched a bunch of his movies in between. We did like what's the most Dom moment, right? Like what it doesn't need to be a thing that Dom does, but like what action in this movie by any character is the most Dom thing. And I wonder in that sort of regard, and Joe, to what you're saying, is the most Dom thing in the franchise leaving the family to save the family? Because that's what the entirety of 8 is about.
Oh, you're right.
And also, that is like what this movie is for a while. He's like, look, cops are coming. If you get caught,
save Letty.
Big numbers, right?
Yep.
I'm protecting Han. Like, Han, you go away. Letty, I'm leaving you. It feels like, and again, to your point, Joe, like, is he figuring out, like, this is not like a Vin Diesel thing? Because I don't think he has control over the character in a way like here. Like, it's not how to play, but like the Dom character as patriarch, as protector, as whatever, is him removing himself from the equation, the most Dom thing possible? Maybe. Like, that feels like that's what 2 movies are about, at least.
I would agree.
Even the end of 1.
The core theme is still family, right? The core theme for all of these movies work when the core theme is still family. Because again, that's global. Everyone gets it. And it's not, not the family you're born to. It's the family you choose. It's your found family. But that theme is global, and everyone can relate to it. So yes, I think that is absolutely correct. Hurt the family to save the family.
My only other serious note is: do you think I don't know how to contextualize this? So Dom Toretto grows up in California, presumably, right? Is like a racially indistinguishable person. He seems like a man of the people.
Ethnically ambiguous.
Ethnically ambiguous. He's like a man of the people. He has lots of multicultural friends. When they order Chinese food in this, do you think the character of Dom Toretto actually knows how to use chopsticks or not?
Yeah, 100%. If you grew up in LA, yes.
You think so? That's what I'm saying. I could see it either way because he's so like almost inherently Italian, and he's like a mechanic. So I could see him being like, "No, I only eat my lo mein with a fork."
He's good with his hands.
But then also he's using the chopsticks, and I was like, culturally, like he knows how to use chopsticks, right?
Yes, for sure. He is very close with Han. They're very good friends. And while Han is very clear about like, I'm from the States, Han would also be like, let's get some Korean takeout, and there you go.
So
fair enough.
On a similar note, a thing that I made a note of, not a similar note, that this is a crazy thing to segue, but like in this movie, we see one quick shot when they go to Braga's club, when we follow Dom in, and Brian is just playing a little bit of pool. Is Brian good at pool?
Yeah, he's like a cop, and he's handsome. I don't know why that plays into it, but I just feel like
he's used that on undercover jobs before. Right, yeah, he's used his pool playing abilities, which he probably trained in the academy on how to play pool, to be using it as an undercover skill. Yeah, for sure he's good. But he's relying on his charm. He relies on that everywhere he goes. In the very first movie, he loses the race and he's still so charming. Everyone's like, this guy.
Yeah, blue eyes. But I definitely, they had a pool table. You're right, at the academy.
For sure.
For sure. In the break
every
room
undercover cop has to be trained on it, because inevitably bad guys are always going to be hanging out in a pool hall. Yeah. And they're going to have to know how to play.
Movie versions of bad guys.
I mean, I'm just thinking about, like, like movies like The Hustler or The Color of Money or whatever. We just saw Marty Supreme as the ping pong scene, like the ping pong hustling scene, where, like, there's tech, but it also feels like it never ends well. It's always just like, they're going to find out that you're hustling. It's like, they're going to find that you're a cop, because, like, only cops, like, do the behind the back. I don't know, like.
Exactly, yeah. Under the leg shot.
Yeah.
If we've learned anything from movies, it's that hustling always happens on pool tables. And then undercover cops always need to know how to do it. So, yeah, I would agree. I did write down the line, this is also a ridiculous segue, but Mia says to Dom, how do you say goodbye to your only brother? And I want to be like, hey, you have another brother. You don't know that yet,
yeah.
but I do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jacob exists, and you're talking to him apparently still.
Yes, exactly.
Just not Dom.
Right, yeah.
So,
Good. Also, the surprise, I don't know if I'd forgotten or it just didn't occur to me. Laz Alonso as Phoenix. Did not remember that was Laz Alonso. That was a shock to me to realize that today.
Phoenix is a pretty good character. It's kind of sad that we had to kill him. He would be a good, another henchman villain. He could move up in the ranks,
Yeah. Yeah, if he hadn't been, let's see, bisected by a car.
Impaled.
I mean, I was thinking, is this the coldest death that we have in the franchise? But I think it has to be because
he killed Letty.
Even though he didn't, he killed Letty. You know what I mean? It's just if you're going to do a thing in this world that is going to cause you the cruelest end, don't kill the main guy's girl. That feels like a bad thing to do.
Justified.
Or one of the Letty is one of the main guys. She's one of the core group. If you kill her, we're after you. Yeah. And then gloat about it. Kill her and then gloat about it. So he wasn't going to end well. He doesn't have the opportunity to join the family in the next movie as so many others do. He has punched his own ticket.
Jeanette, what do you think of Braga as a villain in this movie compared to, because there's later in the franchise, they're Braga was actually working for blah, 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 working for blah, 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 working for Cypher, right? They retcon that a little bit, but what do you think as a standalone villain here? He's not trying to take over the world. He's not trying to blow up
he's
Los
just
Angeles.
Running drugs.
Yeah.
Which
what do you think of him as a villain?
I love that because this is when these movies, the plot in quotes, still made sense, still was grounded, still is approachable, as opposed to, we have to fly into space and hit the satellite in order to activate the God's Eye so that we can prevent this. Guys, no, you all are car thieves. What is happening? But in this one, it's still, we're going after a drug runner. Great, I get it. Makes sense. I'm on board. Totally believable. John Ortiz as Campos, and then the twist, sorry, spoiler alert, everybody, that he is Braga. Beautifully done. I remember seeing this the first time and it kind of getting as soon as it's being revealed, being oh no! Loved it. So well done in this. Very simple, very straightforward, not overly complicated. I thought it was beautifully done. And John Ortiz is a great heavy. Yeah. He's also a great good guy, but works perfectly in this, Wonderful.
I do think for cinematic tension, it is a really good thing that they were relying on the world's slowest inkjet printer to spit out the facts.
Yes, absolutely. God bless her. Liza, I just forgot her last, Lapira, again. When she, on the Equalizer, she's the hitter. She's the tough guy. She's got all the guns and the weapons, and she's a former special ops. And she is spending all of her time with, I'm bad with names today. Hebrew Hammer. He played the Hebrew Hammer.
Oh, Adam Goldberg? Is that him?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're married on the show The Equalizer, and he is world-class hacker. And so, he's all computers and she's all action. The two of them are beautiful on the show. And so to watch her in this movie wait on the world's slowest printer, knowing that on The Equalizer she would just have her husband, whip up something immediately. I was it's so great. Look at how technology used to be slow.
What do you think then of later movies where it's hacker, meet hacker, meet hacker, where it's
too many hackers.
We have Tej, we have Ramsey, we also are there going against
Cypher.
They are also going against
Momoa, who has hackers.
Yeah, it's just it is morphed.
Yeah, I will admit that I don't think you need me to admit this. I think it's well documented. The plots on the later versions of these films get way out of control, and there's too many hackers and too much computering. Please get back to running cars through the desert or jumping them off buildings or,
We need, now that you say this, we need a great equalizer, to use the word of the show. And, we need them to finish this in a world without computers. We need to go all analog, right?
The new bad guy needs to have a weaponized EMP.
Yeah.
Period. He needs to be using whoever the bad guy happens to be. And wouldn't it be great if you could bring somebody back from, the first movie?
Johnny Tran.
Johnny Tran. No. Yes, please.
He's not dead.
And just has developed a full-out EMP that is just taking out everyone's tech, and they have to go back to just souped-up streetcars in order to solve whatever the issue is. That's what I want. That would be the perfect ending of the franchise. If they could figure that out, great.
Probably save them a lot of money in production. They've been
100%.
fighting about too.
Yep.
You're just it's just 3 cars and a notepad, a legal pad.
Johnny Tran's back. He's sick of technology. He is setting out to plunge the world into the dark ages again. He's developed a series of EMPs that once linked will knock out everything.
Isn't that half of Spy Racers? Wasn't there a season of Spy Racers that was essentially this?
I think so. I think to Spy Racers' credit, Jen, have you ever seen Spy Racers, the 5-season long? It's a Netflix animated series, Fast and Furious Spy Racers, featuring Dom's cousin, Tony Toretto. We watched the first 3 seasons, I think maybe twice, and the 4th and 5th once, or maybe 2 and whatever. We watched a lot of Spy Racers. I think Spy Racers was just... No. I think if you have kids in your life who maybe like don't love the franchise, you want to get them on board, or like you want a kids thing that like you might like more than the average thing, sure. Okay. As a woman who graduated college before the first movie came out, I would not say that you should spend a single minute of your time watching what feels like pre-AI slop churned out.
Rough. Is it on? It's on Netflix, like with the Camp Cretaceous stuff that I haven't watched yet either.
Maybe I'm not familiar.
It's like a Jurassic Park animated spinoff thing.
I'm sure it's in the same kind of vein. Like some of it's
sure
good.
It's the
like,
same thing.
I think like, the ideas are cool, and every once in a while, like when Vin Diesel shows up, it's like, oh, that's cool. Or like there's like connections to the movies. It's like that's fun. But like a lot of it just like this is just a kid show that has Fast and Furious branding. Mm-hmm. I think there's probably entire seasons about EMPs. I think they're just taking like whatever the themes of the Fast and Furious are. It's like cars, EMPs, technology, hackers. Yeah. It's just like that's all, you know. So,
true.
Yeah. I feel like a villain with a pile of EMPs would really reset this franchise, and I think it's what they need. So.
Well, the villain with the pile of EMPs that resets the franchise just might be Universal, who just says one more movie, $100 million, make it in LA.
Might be the head of Universal.
Just like with
him.
the EMP. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, and I should ask, how many times have you been to Universal Studios and ridden the studio tour? And the Fast and Furious bits have always been super fun, and they're new. Let's start with that. Have you done the studio tour?
We did Universal Orlando when they opened the supercharged ride, which I think is now closed. We did that like the first month it opened. We went down there and we did that all once, and we're going to go to LA when that opens the roller coaster.
As soon as the roller coaster's open,
yeah.
Cannot wait. It's going to be amazing. The studio tour in LA right now still has the Fast and Furious bit where it's 3D tunnel where when the studio tour goes in, then you get 3D movies on the side, and there's like a chase, and it's Owen Shaw, and you're with the family, and you're trying to do it's great. But it's just one part of the studio tour, so it's not a whole ride. It's not like the one they had in Orlando. And then, when that roller coaster gets done, whoever is making this 12th movie, man, get on board. Let's go, because that roller coaster is going to be opening regardless if you're done or not. So tie that stuff together.
Mm-hmm. Do you think, side note from Fast and Furious, do you think that we will see another movie? Or do you think that, like, politics and money and whatever in LA, in Universal, in Vin Diesel ego, whatever, will that drown? Will we get another movie? Will it be the final movie? What do you think the future holds for the franchise?
We're still kind of torn whether or not
are we going to get another Hobbs and Shaw too, I think is a legit question. I really hope we get at least one more, because the last one ended on such a cliffhanger.
Yes.
So I would really like to have at least one more, and I would like it to be the last one, and I would like it to tie it up in a way that brings it full circle and brings it back to the beginning, and it ends with them just driving along, I don't know, the PCH. So,
Jeanette, how do you make a 16-hour movie?
Isn't that what they've done? Isn't all of this just one 16-hour movie?
Fair. We're just like, I don't know how 10 part 2 can be less than 4 hours. Like, they just keep adding people.
They keep adding people, and they keep... And I want all loose storylines open. Yeah, to have the... Should this become a series on Peacock? Should this be a streaming show?
I love that. That would be fine by me.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
they're giving me more Twisted Metal, and man, did I enjoy Twisted Metal.
Well,
so fucking
we
good.
just had on a couple of movie episodes ago to talk about the first movie, Barry Hertz, who just wrote a whole book about the Fast and Furious franchise, and in the book he talks about like all these different things that could have been. Like, they've pitched multiple Peacock series that they were going to do, and then nothing ever materialized. So,
see,
I don't know.
I mean, Peacock is just out there with a bunch of stuff on it. All these things streaming on the cock. Let's go.
Yeah.
That way you get, again, there's so many. Forgive me for all the side missions, but Eternals, should have been a Disney Plus show so that you can give each character the time and dedication they need. This is a franchise that could use a show so that each character can get an episode, and then give me, 12 episode series. Everybody gets a little bit of business, and then tie it in to release the final movie, and now we have all this backstory for all of it.
That makes so much
too
sense. That makes
complicated.
too much sense. No, it makes too much sense. Yeah, if we did like the interlude would be just like a Peacock series, and then it leads us up to we're back at the bridge, but we have all the context.
Yeah, now we know why Ramsey is what Ramsey is. Because that character came out of nowhere.
So what would you like to see if we do get another movie, just assuming it's a one movie and that there's not going to be a Hobbs and Shaw 2, like you said, not going to be a Dos Bandoleros. If we get one more movie, what would you like to see? If, again, to Joe's point, how do you make a 16-hour movie or whatever? If you're going to tell like a 2-hour story, like what do you want answered in, like, what are your biggest, most burning questions? Where do you want to see this resolved? Do we just jump ahead and pretend that the cliffhanger at the end of 10 didn't happen?
We're scared that they might do that. We're scared that they might just say, and everybody survived, and then continue the movie from there.
Because Giselle popped out of that submarine, which, first of all, submarine. Let's not forget, we have an exploding dam, a crashed plane, and a submarine that we have to resolve.
Yes.
I'm going to want it to resolve all of that stuff. And like I said, I do want it to find a way to wind down to a street race. I don't know how. That's not my job. It should be Justin Lin's job. He needs to be involved. He's the one who really, his fingerprints are all over this. It needs to be him. I don't know.
I think Vin pissed him off too much. I don't think we're ever getting Justin Lin back.
God love him. Vin Diesel is his own biggest hurdle. I really believe that. It's interesting, right? Talking about, you watched a lot of his other stuff. No one, I don't even know how to say it, because I'm a fan of Vin Diesel's, but Vin Diesel believes he is Daniel Day-Lewis, or at least is in that.
He does.
That's what he wants to be.
In his Instagram, he said, me and what was the actors that he named, the directors that he named in that post that he put himself up with? It was that. The list was incredible. It was
very confident. He's a very confident man. Is that unearned confidence? I don't know. After the first couple of Fast and Furiouses, after Pitch Black, after a couple of movies, you're like, oh, this man's great. But then he kind of shoots himself in the foot over and over again. You could be a giant movie star and still be pleasant and a joy to work with. And I feel like he hasn't done that. The key to longevity is being a pleasure to work with in any career.
Yep.
And when you start to think you're better than the material, when you start to think you're bigger than the project, when you want your name above the title, James Gunn, Superman, then we have issues.
Yeah, I mean, I think the issue here is that he has not started to think that. I think he has thought that for a long time. He is firmly... And I think he has made the franchise what it is, and he's made other franchises that he's in what they are, and people love those, and we love these movies, and we love a lot of his movies, but it also feels like, at a certain point, man, we just want to see another movie. Make it easy.
Dom is not my favorite character. I don't know that Dom is anyone's favorite character. Dom is necessary for these movies, but he's not why I'm watching.
Right.
I think heading back to Boston, I bet a lot of Boston likes Dom.
Probably. I don't know. It's tough. I really would love somebody out there has got to, and honestly, maybe it's something where Justin Lin takes it to the fans. Fans source the material. If there's something we've learned from Lego after their bounce back from near bankruptcy is fans source your material. There's a lot of people out here writing some really good fanfic. Adopt what you can.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It does feel like he also wants to do that. He sources input from people on Instagram, not even just producers, not actors, just
because
fans.
He's a collaborative team player. Which
who do you want to see? It's oh, you want Cristiano Ronaldo in these movies? Okay, we'll put him in the movie. It's what do you mean? What do you mean you're going to put Cristiano Ronaldo in these movies?
I don't want him anywhere. Leave him where he is. That man. Anyway, he's the Vin Diesel of soccer.
That's why they're besties now.
Absolutely.
He posted pictures with him. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, that's great. That's great.
He said, no, did you not see this Instagram post? Vin said, I wrote a role for Ronaldo.
Of course he did. Because Neymar is in the Triple X, one of the Triple X's.
Yes,
Neymar's
you're right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I forgot about that now that you said it.
Yeah.
That's funny. That we definitely talked about that. That now the Ronaldo thing makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Which again is tying into the biggest superstars on the planet and finding a way to use them. So I get it.
Smart. It's good marketing.
It's good marketing. That's what it is. Yeah. I'm hopeful. I would really like to see a final movie, and I would like it done well. Will it happen? I don't know. But I would really
On that
like
note, Joey, Jeanette, do we think we're going to get K-pop demon hunters in the final movie?
No, they're not a Universal property, are they?
I don't know. I guess
we're
Netflix,
still waiting for
right?
dinosaurs, right? Universal properties are Universal properties. If you can
That's
only
true.
use Universal properties, why have we not gotten some sort of Jurassic crossover?
The production company for K-pop is Sony. It's distributed by Netflix, but it's made by Sony.
So we're not getting K-pop.
No,
demon
you will
hunters.
get them in the next Spider-Man Spider-Verse animated Spider-Verse movie.
Good point.
They'll be
Very
in the
good
background.
point. Yep.
I think if Spy Racers were still going on, they would maybe like segue into K-pop in some way, just because like, hey, look, we're also animated in K-pop on Netflix, but
Someone has to keep the Hung Moon strong. Whoever is working on it, that's what I need.
Jeanette, what about Fast and Furious #4 do you not love? Because it's not your top 4 movies. It's just the fact that like it's not as good as the ones that you like more. Is there things about this movie that you think could be better, could be different, could be improved upon?
Yeah, it lacks any strong female characters. The ones that it has, it's sidelines or murders. Letty's out, Mia's sidelined. Giselle it is not named and has nothing to do but aggressively flirt with Vin Diesel to no end.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So, I prefer Gal Gadot is whatever, but I like when at least Giselle has stuff to do. She has nothing to do in this. I like the setup. I like the story. I like the action. I really like at the end that they're like, when Dom says he's had enough of running and the judge throws the book at him, then Brian's like, well, that's it. Here's my badge. The effect of like throwing his badge and going on the table and quitting. It immediately is all in on like, I'm going to rescue my brother. I like all of that. So there's not a ton I don't like. I like when they come back together.
Okay.
I wish that, but then you have no conflict. I've been watching a lot of the holiday rom-coms, and the conflict in those is so forced.
Oh, yeah. We just watched last night because we've been watching a lot of Christmas movies. We watched The Family Stone. I don't know if you've seen The Family Stone.
Yes, I enjoy The Family Stone.
And from the very jump, we're like, oh, does it seem like Sarah Jessica Parker needs to learn a little bit of a lesson about Christmas? And then like halfway through the movie, you're like, or does the family need to learn a little bit of a lesson about Christmas? And then turns out it's neither of those things. Like the movie's just not very good.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a lot. The very formulaic, which is what I want from a holiday rom-com. Give me the formula and execute it well, period. Meet cute. If someone is not Christmas, someone's very Christmas, and then there's business and not business, and then they fall in love, and then there's conflict, whatever that is, and then there's big gesture and reconciliation. Please execute that. You don't have to break the mold. I'm not looking for that. Any of those movies, and this one too, would be so resolved so much quicker if there were clear communication. And any part, any character. And the bit in this where if Brian had simply reached out to Dom and been like, hey, by the way, Letty's working with me because she's worried about you and she wants you to come home. The fact that it takes so long for Dom to discover that by finding a cell phone in Letty's box of stuff that then leads to Brian's phone. And then he has to beat the shit out of Brian before Brian is like, no, she came to me because she was trying to clear your name to get you to come home. If he had simply said that earlier, then he wouldn't have had to end up on the floor. But, it's for dramatic tension. I get it, but I didn't love that. Like, these guys, again, because what I want is the family aspect, which I know I get later on, but I want it here sooner than it is, which is not the movie's fault. It's building up to it, but I just wanted them on the same side faster.
Yes.
So, again, clear communication.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think there's also, like, maybe, again, while watching The Family Stone, which my wife's friend recommended to her, and I'm like, does she watch other movies? She's like, yeah, she watches a lot of movies. I'm like, I don't know. But it's like, it feels like there are things where it's like, oh, well, we are watching a movie. Like, there has to be this conflict because, like, we are watching a movie.
Of course.
Like, without that, like, there would not be a movie. But also still, The
dramatic reveal of here's the phone and the last number dialed is Brian's and he's in the other room. Like, that's great. I get it. But also, come on.
I only have one other note, and then Jeanette, we will go through whatever else you want to talk about. But I feel bad, not really, but I feel a little bit bad for Hobbs. That in Hobbs and Shaw, they have the big deal about cheat day, all the thing in the diner, right? Like the big thing. Cheat day. He doesn't get the first cheat day in this franchise. That Brian's boss had cheat day the day before, and then somebody brought in donuts, so his boss is upset here. So like cheat day as an entity, as an idea, as a whatever, is not even Hobbs in the franchise. It's Brian's boss, whose name I don't even know. It's not Stasiak, it's whoever, like the grumpy boss or whatever.
Yeah,
but
the
he's
head
grumpy
boss
because
guy.
he ate a lot yesterday, but donuts the other day. So I'm just like, man, like that feels like cheat day, Fast and Furious. That's Hobbs, but also it's not just Hobbs.
Yeah, interesting. So
Crazy.
Everybody gets a cheat day once in a while.
The whole franchise is encouraging the cheat days.
Mm-hmm. Jeanette, other notes, other thoughts, anything else you want to say about Fast and Furious number 4?
Yeah, written down next to my Las Alonso with an exclamation point.
Yep.
He is Brandon T. Jackson with an exclamation point. I just, when when you haven't seen something in a long time and then you go back and then you're catching people in the corners where you're like, now I know who that is. Brandon T. Jackson, of course, the reason Tropic Thunder works. So very happy. And, the Percy Jackson movies, which now I'm watching the Percy Jackson TV show. So big shout. And was surprised to see him and very happy to see him. And he felt like he was in Gone in 60 Seconds and then accidentally, like maybe he thought he was in that movie and then ended up in this movie. And
well, doesn't somebody character say Ghetto Smurf in this movie? So like the whole movie thinks is a little bit in Gone in 60 Seconds and isn't actually in Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah, that bit at the front was a little Gone in 60 Seconds, and I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's everything. Checking my notes for the hunting down of David Park because of the car and hanging him out the window was very entertaining. The phone call.
It was funny when he hangs him out the window. Also, like a line that I totally forget. Like David Park is talking to them. He's like, "Can you guys finish this conversation later? And pull me up."
Fantastic.
Like very, very well done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dom, Giselle, again, unnamed Giselle, asking Dom their whole flirtation scene, which, by the way, I've seen more chemistry between two pieces of cardboard.
Yes.
Good Lord, that scene is flat.
Two beautiful people with not a single spark between them.
100%. When she's like, well, now I know what you like in cars. What about your women? I was like, oh boy, come on, guys.
Yeah.
That description of what he likes, where he's basically describing Letty, and her reaction of, well, that doesn't sound anything like me. And he's like, it's not. On the one hand, it was like, this whole scene is nonsense. On the other hand, I was like, I enjoyed it. You never see that in movies where someone is like, yeah, tell me about your ideal woman, and then they do, and then
it's
that
totally
leads to
somebody
something
else.
Yeah, and in this case, she's like, yeah, that doesn't sound anything like me. He's like, no, it's not. Okay, scene over. Great. I appreciate that. What an odd choice, and yet I was here for it. I like the tunnel bit. I don't think we've seen tunnels in any of the others, and I think that can save the money because that's all green screen, but also it was interesting, and so I thought that was kind of cool.
Tunnels are pretty cool.
But yeah, let me check. Car chase. I wrote that down twice. And then how do you say goodbye to your only brother? Which, that's fine because you're not going to be able to retcon that without some difficulty. So.
Yeah, I mean, they try, right? They talk about, like, not really. We give the franchise a lot of credit for retconning other things, like having Han die 2 or 3 times and bringing other people back and whatever. Yeah. But, like, there is the conversation that, like, Mia has, like, 1 or 2 lines in 9 where she just like, well, yeah, like, we just don't, or Letty's like, we just don't talk about him because it makes Dom upset. And then Mia's like, I talked to him for a little while after, he went to prison, blah, blah, blah. Just like, okay, like that kind of, but also still, like, there is a line specifically, explicitly what you're saying that you cannot wipe away with a single, like,
it needed to be my only brother left.
Something like that.
But then people would be like,
it could have just been like, how do you say goodbye to, or how do you
say goodbye to a brother?
How do you say goodbye to a brother? Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
How do you say goodbye to
family? That
family?
would have been fine. That would have solved it, So it's, I don't know. I do like that they sneak up on Braga in church. The interaction between Braga and the priest, where he's like, here's a bag of money, let me have a moment. Or let me buy this blessing.
And he
does.
I thought
that was kind of interesting, and they sneak him out the back. And again, because you want to see Brian and Dom working together. So that, in summary, this one, I love it because it builds the family. It's the first one that really starts to formula the family Coronas, grace at the table, which is reiterated several times.
Yep.
it starts to knit together the solid foundation of the rest of the franchise, which is
Yes.
odd because it's already the fourth movie, but this is the one that I think really grounds the entire rest of the franchise.
This turns it into a franchise.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Because otherwise, before that, I was just sort of loosey-goosey stories that kind of have a connective tissue, but don't really. And now we're all back together for the future.
Yeah. Rewatching it last night, I was like, man, I just want to watch 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 now.
Cool. Well, Jeanette, are you ready to find out which Fast and Furious character you are?
100%.
So when we started this franchise, when we started this podcast, Jesus, we did not start the franchise. We just talk about it.
By now, you guys are pretty much a franchise. Let's be honest.
Well, thank you. When we started the podcast, we found a quiz online that was a Fast and Furious character quiz. We did not love it. We liked it. We did not love it. So we made our own. This is one where there are 7 questions. Each question has 6 multiple choice answers. There are no wrong answers. You can explain your answers or not. Live a life of mystery. But if you need me to repeat answers, explain answers, let me know. But question number 1, Jeanette, how fast are you? NASCAR, roller coaster, Lamborghini Murcielago, Toyota Prius, Vespa, or Razor scooter?
Wait, how fast am I? Let me hear those choices again.
NASCAR, roller coaster, Lamborghini Murcielago, Toyota Prius, Vespa, or Razor scooter?
I'm definitely a Prius.
Okay.
I'm very slow.
Okay. Question number 2, you know it's coming. How furious are you? The Hulk, Kylo Ren, Christian Bale on that one movie set that one time, Mel Gibson, Charlie Brown, or Jack McBrayer?
Where is the option of someone who's furious but keeps it all inside all the time? Probably Jack McBrayer, right? Because you never see it. But man, if that dude ever snapped,
he's gonna go postal. Yeah.
Yeah, internalized, seething, constant rage.
Well, maybe that's the
Bruce
Hulk then, because
Banner.
the Hulk is, he's
the Hulk.
He's,
It's the Hulk.
It's the Bruce Banner version, though. Yeah. Okay.
So you want to go Hulk, or you want to go Jack McBrayer? Hulk. Okay.
I'll go Hulk. I think that makes.
We're having a barbecue. How are you helping? Are you manning the grill? Are you saying grace? Are you kicking back with a beer? Are you babysitting? Are you being the entertainment, or are you sneaking a snack?
I'm making all the desserts.
Okay.
Sneaking a snack?
Okay.
That fits. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Jeanette, you've got time to kill. What are you doing? Are you grabbing a bite, working on your car, hanging with friends, drinking a beer, working out, or doing some work on your computer?
Hanging out with friends.
Okay. Describe your wedding. I'm never getting married. It's just me and my partner. It's us and our families. It's a backyard country affair. Everyone I know is there. I don't remember.
I'm never getting married.
Okay. Congratulations, you just won the lottery. What are you buying? Your own garage, a private plane, I'm gambling it all away, my childhood home, a fleet of cars, or a new life?
Interesting.
Thank you.
A room for my Lego sets.
Childhood home or a garage.
It could be a garage.
What was the second one?
Private plane.
No, that wasn't
Own
it.
garage, private plane, gambling it all away, childhood home, fleet of cars, or a new life?
Yeah, I'm going to have to say childhood home just for the space.
Okay.
Not for nostalgia reasons.
And then the final question, which you have a number of characters that are all just about even. What is your drink of choice? Belgian ale, Corona, something fruity, water, whatever's cheapest, or just, one of whatever Joe's having?
Water. With a slice of lemon.
Okay. You are, it's wild that these two characters are tied, but you got, because of the way that it works, you get the one that's higher up the list. You are both Hobbs and Twinkie. I don't know how you are.
I would have guessed Hobbs off the rip. Yeah.
She was Dom after Childhood Home, and then the water dipped her from that. Dom does not drink water, but you are Hobbs. Jeanette, you're a tank in every sense of the word.
Yep.
Your goals are non-negotiable, and when something or someone tries to stand in your way, it's easier and more fun to smash straight through them than to find a way around. You're not all attitude and determination, though. You've got a heart, and you respect the meaning of family. While your integrity won't let you completely break the rules, you don't see anything wrong with bending them once in a while for the greater good, and you drive
like the
wind
Fabulous. I love it. And I also flex out of my casts when
Yeah.
it's time to get to work.
Exactly. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know how it was possible that like the biggest and the smallest character in the quiz, you are both
Somehow
of them.
wound up in a tied. That's good.
That I'm a Libra. That I'm the balance between all things.
Oh, that makes sense then.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
We've only had like a couple Twinkies before. We've had 2 Twinkies before. We've had a number of Hobbs, but yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen Hobbs and Twinkie exactly tied, which is just very funny to me.
It
Outstanding. I'm happy to be, breaking the.
You're breaking the proverbial cast off the podcast.
That's right. Absolutely. That's what I'm here to do.
We are just a pod now. Jeanette, thank you so much for being here. What would you like to promote? Where can people find you? What do you have going on? Do you want our listeners to find you online or where you're doing things or anything you want to promote?
Yeah, like I said, I am working on my site, The Mundane Adventures of a Fangirl, which you can find at jwardadventures.blogspot.com. I've been working on being better at it, but like the schedule has been crazy lately, so I'm just behind. And I've watched a lot of random holiday stuff that I want to get some short reviews up. And went to see, the hell did I see last night? The new, I went to the movie theater.
Mm-hmm. I believe you. I don't know what you saw though. I was not
Was
there.
it The Housemaid? The Housemaid?
No, I wanted to see The Housemaid. It was Anaconda. It was Anaconda. It was a delight. It was fun.
Okay.
So yeah, I want to get a review up of that shortly. And if you have heard me on other things, you know that I'm in a professional belly dance troupe. And if you'd like to check us out and see where you can catch us, you can find that website at tamarindtribal.bellydance.com.
Cool.
Best way to get details on that is just follow me on Instagram, or Instagram automatically updates the Facebook. I don't go on Facebook, but if you follow me on there, you'll get my Instagram updates, which that's the best place to find me is Instagram, and I keep updating there. And if you are interested in belly dance classes and you want to start taking, we have Zoom options available, so look that up.
Very cool. Well, thank you once again for joining us, Joe. Our next episode is Life in the Fast Lane, which people, by the time they hear this, we will have already recorded it because I'm going away, so we're getting that done before. So don't email in, but email in for the next one in a few weeks. And after that, we spoke about him earlier, not Jay, but Jay's podcasting partner, Mark Hoffmeyer, will be joining us to talk about Steven Spielberg's first, maybe, film, Duel from 1971. So we're going to talk about that in 2 weeks. Duel is the next movie, so we got a Fast Lane next week and Duel after that. But I also want to give a very special shout out to our patrons. Alex Ellen and Justin Kleiman and Brian Rodriguez of High School Slumber Party, Wes Hampton, Jerry Robinson, Dan the Duke, Hayden, Renato DiDonato, Michael McGann, Lane Middleton, Lindsay Lewandowski, Jason Rainey, Tom Price, Josh Buckley of Whole Lotta Wolves, Michael Moser, Christian Larson, Tara Newman, Aaron Willows, and Natalie Absolute, Randy Carter, Alex Walsh, Jack Haley, Dale Cox, and Jessica Collins, aka Montez. And for all things Too Fast, Too Forever, go to cageclub.me, facebook.com/TooFastTooForever, or at TooFastTooForever on some of the socials. Email us, family@cageclub.me. Check out our Patreon page at TooFastTooForever.com and our store at cageclub.me/shop, and come back
Buy
next
a George
week.
Pickens shirt.
Buy a George Pickens shirt. Come back next week for Life in the Fast Lane, number 61. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe too.
And that was Jeanette Ward, and we will tell you all about it
when we see you